Let's review the Mechwarrior Online 2023 plans devlog. Hi friends, I'm TTB. Welcome back to some Mechwarrior Online news. Now 6 months after the last bit of information we got on Mechwarrior Online in the form of devlog, we have a new one here, where PGI will be talking about their plans for Mechwarrior Online for 2023. So, without further ado, let's get going. We'll watch the video together and I will provide some pointers, some thoughts, and some feedback. Here we go.
Greetings, Mech Warriors. Welcome to 2023. I'm here with Darren, and we're going to share with you our plans for this year for Mechwarrior Online.
Matt has a space heater running. That's why there's a little bit of background noise. What? large laser is not hot enough for you? All right, let's move on. Let's see what Matt and Darren have to say.
Darren, Happy New Year. How are you doing?
Happy New Year to you. I am doing very well. Thank you very much. I'm still here and I'm excited about what we're doing in 2023. What about you?
I'm very excited. The new year has started off with a bang, obviously. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a big interview that Phil did with Russ, and Russ dropped a couple bombs on there. So we want to communicate to you our plans for 2023. So let's jump right in, Darren.
Let's do it.
Matchmaker. We know you guys are frustrated with the current Matchmaker
Yes, we are.
setup. We need a solution to improve Matchmaker for the current population. You guys have cited weight class distribution, group distribution, skill distribution as the major issues, and so has the Cauldron. They brought it up to us several times last year. But the great thing is, we did this pitch to Russ in December, and we got a commitment of engineering time. And that engineering time is going to be starting work in February. I don't have any details of that plan to share with you guys right now, because they have to absorb that information and figure out a plan to move forward. But we will be keeping you up to date with that, our decisions and direction for that. Now, Darren, are you ready for the next slide?
Okay, let's stop it right there. So let's focus a little bit more time on this. So the current matchmaking system has a couple of problems. And there are other elements in the game that compound these problems, right? So sometimes you just see like the classic, your team has 1 assault mech, the enemy team for some reason has 4 assault mechs or 5 assault mechs. We've seen these cases. That should be a simple thing of just weight balancing, right? Then we've got skill distribution. We all know that the tiers of players, tier 1 to tier 5, are mostly some form of XP bar, not necessarily a skill bar. And that creates problems, of course. And the third problem, and which in my opinion is the biggest problem, is groups. Because groups as an entity in the matchmaking, in quick play, are something that cannot be balanced. You can have a group of 4 amazing players, and you can have a group of 4 people that just laughingly run into a bandsaw. Both get treated equally by the matchmaker currently. There is no way right now to balance for groups, especially not if this group also then uses their vote power to vote for a long-range map, for example, and they're all bringing long-range builds. All of a sudden, you have a group of 4 people that is 33% of your whole team that has optimized builds, perfectly optimized builds for a certain map, specifically long-range sniping, for example. And then, of course, they have their internal communication. They won't necessarily talk much with the rest of the team, so that also hurts team communication a little bit in a lot of cases. It is a big problem, and I don't know what the best solution for that would be, to have a separate group queue, but account for the fact that there's going to be less players, so you have smaller groups, you have 8v8 or 6v6. I don't know what the solution would be. I'm just saying groups are a problem, and especially with the fact that you cannot select the map afterwards, and you cannot change the mechs afterwards. There's no way to account and balance for that. So yeah, that would be interesting what they come up with here.
Because this next one's big.
This is a big one. I'm very ready for it.
You take this slide.
My body is ready.
Okay, that's a lot of hype. Let's see what they have.
We're ready.
2023, we have a new mech pre-order on the way. It's another completely new mech chassis. As you know, we introduced last year the Crusader and the Hatchet Man as new chassis into the game. Well, we got a new one coming.
Yeah,
I'm
and we're not
going to-
revealing it quite yet, are we?
But this is super exciting. It's going to be a new mech coming this year. And so you can look for maybe some hints or some teasing coming soon. We're super excited about that.
Let's be honest, it'll probably take them about 5 minutes to guess it, Darren,
Yeah.
after we release the vlog. The Crusader was a huge success last year. Shared resources and that kind of stuff has really been starting to work in our benefit for MWO and MW5. It was great. We're excited about adding another new full mech to MWO.
That was exactly what I said when they announced the Crusader. I said I would be really happy if people adopt this new mech and actually end up spending some money buying some package here, because it will showcase to BGI, hey, we have an interest in this game. We want you guys to keep going. We want you guys to not only improve, but also add some new content to the game. So I'm happy to hear that the Crusader was a success. And I'm happy to hear that Devil will get a new mech this year again as well, plus some update for the Hatchet Man. However, I have to say, to me personally, that's not a huge update. Like, for me personally, as somebody who plays the game a lot and who gets a lot of feedback from all you guys currently and also constantly across the board every single day in comments or in messages, I'm more excited about gameplay improvements and map improvements and matchmaker improvements than I will ever be about a new mech. Sure, new mech is nice because that also brings more money back into the register, the cash register at PGI, and that's important to keep the game going. So for that part, I like it. Yes, sure, absolutely. Hey, new mech, cool, love it. But my interest is more in what gives us a better game experience in the game, if that makes any sense, right?
And I can say, as excited as I was for the Crusader, and I was, because that's an Innersphere mech and it's a unseen mech, I was very excited for the Crusader. I love the implementation of the Crusader. And
Crusaders were cool. Hands down, Crusaders are cool. Fun to play. A little bit too thick on the legs and the arms, though.
Mechwarrior Online, I'm even more excited for this new mech. But anyway, let's also talk about the Hatchet Man, because there is a Hatchet Man update.
Yeah. So we also mentioned this when we were chatting with Phil, but we want to share it with everybody. You guys can look forward to, I guess, in January patch, cockpit items being added to the package. So it will be added retroactively to everybody. Plus, we're going to extend the early adopters deadline to at the February patch.
Well, that's what I said when we were talking about the Hatchet Man. Remember, I said it's a little bit sad that they didn't have cockpit items, especially not a Warhorn. So I'm still looking forward to that. I'm still looking for a Timber Warhorn for the Hatchet Man. And
then we're going to add an early adopter bonus, which is a Platinum Hatchet Man and a Platinum skin unlock if you grab the Hatchet Man before the February patch date, which I think is like the 21st.
Yeah, and that is a good deal, folks. And when we say cockpit items, that is all three cockpit items. So you'll have a standing, a hanging, and a mounted cockpit item coming for the Hatchet Man. That'll be 60 days then, since we're extending the early adopters rewards, basically, where you can see the Hatchet Man out there in action. You can see the cockpit items. You can hear the Warhorn, and you can decide for yourself if you want it. But I will say, Platinum Hatchet Man is going to be pretty darn sexy, just like all the Platinum mechs.
Yes, he is. The other thing is I'll extend the event where you can get additional rewards for purchasing the Hatchet. If you guys decide to pick up the Hatchet Man, or you've already picked up the Hatchet Man, some new content coming to you.
So that can mean two things here. That could mean, on the one side, maybe the sales for the Hatchet Man were not as good as they would have liked, and that's why they're extending it. Or it's just because they realized, okay, hey, we can maybe get some more sales if we put in some extra goodies that were missing. Or maybe they were planned in the beginning, but they didn't make it in time. That's entirely possible. We don't know what's going on here, but I mean, yeah, we've had fun with the Hatchet Man. Just don't count on the Hatchet being used. It's just a prop. Mechwarrior Online does not have melee. But the mech builds itself were fun. Absolutely.
So 2023 new maps. So
okay, now we're getting into some very interesting stuff. Let's see where we go from here.
Let's talk about the level designer, man. He is killing it right now. He's been addressing some long-term issues complaints that players have had about maps. It's just amazing. A couple of the images on this screen showing some changes that are actually coming in the January patch.
Yeah, I can't express my happiness and excitement enough in terms of maps and map updates. When he first joined the team, he's just jumped right in the game and is mixing in really well with the community and the players and the Cauldron, and he just plays matches and listens to you guys talking, the players talking about, there's an
I hope he doesn't listen to me, or he's gonna hear one giant complaint all the time, which is not true. If you guys watch the stream, you know that I applaud and keep calling out good maps and good design decisions as well.
Visible wall here, or whatever defects there are in all of our current maps, he's taking notes when he's out there playing, and
here is the number one defect that a lot of the maps have: too many extreme long range lines of sight, not enough cover, and not enough opportunities to bring the really cool closer range weapon systems of Mechwarrior Online that are iconic to the Ficken franchise to bear. Of course, compounded in part with the problem that comes with the matchmaking system with the groups and with the long-range weapons that are very effective, long-range laser vomit, PPFLD, whatnot. All that stuff is very effective at long ranges, and not all of them, but a lot of the maps have extreme plateaus, dips down, where you can just snipe until forever. You can snipe until you grow old, right? And that needs to be addressed, and that needs to be improved, right? That includes maps like Grim Plexus, for example. More cover, less direct lines of fire. Sure, have sniping points, absolutely. But make them so they don't see the whole map or don't see 2/3 of the whole map. Make them so they have like a clear avenue where they're sniping, and make it so that there are clear avenues for brawlers to get to those snipers where they don't get molested 24/7 by blue lasers. That needs to be possible. And that would mean, yes, absolutely, that would mean a long rework of all these maps. And if that's what they're doing right now, then hell yeah. But here's the thing though. I don't know who was involved with that, but if you think about that upgrade that Terra Firma Classic got, where where the PGI announcement was, oh yeah, we made the center of the map more open to facilitate long-range combat more, I puked in my mouth as I read that. So, if we're getting changes to those maps that increase playability, make it more fun, but also make it fun for the people that don't bring extreme range all the time, which is half of Mechwarrior Online's weapon system, then I will be very happy. Okay, slight feedback, slight rant, moving on.
Immediately upon hire, went through and changed like 10 to 15 maps, little fixes. And
also, a name would have been nice by now.
And he's lined up to have more fixes to more maps coming up. And in addition to a full new map, he's just constantly out there engaging, playing, and finding all the little things that need to be addressed on the maps.
And that is super important. A map designer that plays the game and that is involved in listening to people and listening to their feedback. Not listening to people does not mean somebody or I say something and then you do that. Listening to people means you just listen to them, you collect feedback, and then you get a general idea of the vibe of what's going on, and then you act on it. And if they're doing that, very good. You guys know one of my biggest gripes with all the new maps that we got last year, and some of them were excellent. Wittrick Station, love it, right? One of my gripes was that the old maps were never updated and improved. They were still as annoying as they were before. Spawn points were still trash. So if they're upgrading that, if they're changing that, really good. That will help. That will definitely help.
And that kind of proactive involvement is just super exciting. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with all the work that he's done so far.
That's awesome. So the new map comes in March. And along with that one, there'll be, well, there's 4 new maps this year.
There's also screenshots of Forest Colony right here, but on first glance, I'm not seeing any difference. I mean, maybe it's because there's some change going on below or whatever, but this looks to me like it's 2 times the same map. Like the outline is the same, that's the bounding box of the map. The islands are there, the roads are there, the color looks a little bit different. Maybe they may give it a little bit more light or something, but I don't know. I'm not seeing any changes from this to these 2 little items. What I'm seeing here in Canyon Network is a new road up, which is nice. I mean, this is basically a similar version of the High Bundle Rift version of the map, where you just have more ramps so you can actually get up there and not just are stuck in the canyons 24/7. So that is a very welcome change. Now, if they add a couple more higher hills to the map on these ridges, or maybe a little bit more towards the middle, yeah.
There's asterisks besides new because obviously, he's going to be working with existing assets, much like Francois did back in the day. But he is, the full new map in March, he is actually digging into creating a new terrain system first. So he's not basing it off of a faction play map, but future maps may have portions of other maps pulled in and stuff like that.
Which is absolutely fine. They don't have to come up with like a completely new biome or whatever every single time. They have their little Lego pieces that they can use to build maps, right? So why not just do it? I mean, look at Vittrick Station, worked out perfectly. Vittrick Station, excellent map. If you see that map, vote for it.
But
think of like fan favorite Vittrick Station. And Francois built that using already existing assets. So with some creativity and with good level design, we have the tools to make some really fun and exciting maps. So I'm really looking forward to what we have coming.
Yeah, me too. So this next one's a big one. This is something we've just...
Rebrand and content strategy. Okay, I mean, rebrand, I understand that. Solaris is gone, right? Content strategy. As somebody who has a background actually in running huge YouTube channels and devising content strategy, this will be interesting to me. youtube.com/TGN.
Discussed internally, and we're really looking for your guys' feedback on this. We talked about last year when we removed the Solaris 7 mode from the game, and we added the event queue. We added the new skill tree. That was somewhere around middle of the year, June, July.
That new skill tree, by the way, it is a condensed skill tree, but there is nothing new. Important to understand. It's not even condensed. It is slightly changed and unjumbled, right? Untangled. But it's not a new skill tree. For it to have been new, it would have been like a complete rework of the skill tree system. Less skill points and then more focus on actually making choices that will improve you very much in one regard and hurt you in another. Example, this is just firing from the hip. Example: do you choose to get 30% more armor or 30% more structure and 50% less crit chance receiving? Do you take 20% extended laser range, or do you take 20% heat reduction? Choices. You can't have both. That would be a new skill tree. This is a refined skill tree, and it was a good change. But it's not a new skill tree. I know I'm nitpicking, but... German!
We wanted to rebrand because we didn't have Solaris 7 as a key mode in the game anymore. And... we talked about it internally, and we're like, okay, well, we can just drop Solaris 7 from the name, so it'd just be going back to Mechwarrior Online. And then we're kind of like, well, what does that do, right? That doesn't move the game forward. And so we've done quite a bit of workshopping and discussing internally, and we're tentatively excited to announce what our goal is for this rebrand.
Mechwarrior Online Classic. Mechwarrior Online Redux.
And our working title, our current choice of title, but we want your guys' feedback. So the idea is we're going to rebrand to Mechwarrior Online Legends. And now this is not final art at all. This is just me mocking something up in Photoshop.
Initial reaction... I understand what they're trying to do there. However, there is already Mechwarrior Living Legends, and I think that is too close. Even though, and this is not to slide in any way on Mechwarrior Living Legends. I've never played it. I'm not planning on playing it. It's a much smaller community, much smaller game. I have no experience playing it, so that's all I can say is it's much smaller, but it exists as a name. So I don't think Legends is the right way to go here. Maybe something like Mechwarrior Online, I don't know, 23rd Millennium Combat, I don't know. Something Legends is, I don't think it fits.
But we've already pitched this idea internally. We've certainly had a lot of debate internally. And I think when we go into what the actual content strategy is around the rebrand, you'll get to understand why we chose this name. But we want you to know we're open to your feedback. So let's move into what the content strategy is, and then
Absolutely.
it'll make more sense.
Okay. We'll see if the content strategy this time is going to involve, again, regular devlogs. That then hopefully will happen, not like last time where we had a content strategy of weekly devlogs that then turned into, not weekly, into like monthly devlogs, which then turned into, well, maybe you hear from us, maybe you don't. Consistency is key to any content strategy, guys.
So what is Mechwarrior Online Legends? So the idea is that Mechwarrior Online Legends is going to be a monthly legendary mech using existing chassis. Mini battle pass that comes with your purchase, themed sales and events around that legend. So what's a legendary mech? Well, it's kind of like this next evolution. Got standard mechs in the game, got champion mechs in the game with an XP boost and a pre-configured loadout, which is basically a standard mech. And then we've got
maybe popular opinion, I think the game does not need champion mechs. Champion mechs were introduced to, I mean, from a standpoint of the game developer, I think champion mechs are just there to give people an additional incentive to buy a mech for MC equals real life money that gets them some extra XP and maybe a different paint job. But personally speaking, champion mechs are not worth your money. They're not worth your money. Hero mechs, yes, absolutely. Cool paint job, different loadouts. Champion mechs just gain you extra XP. That bonus from the champion mech is gonna be gone after a couple of hours of playing that mech, and then you have this pointless bonus lying around. So unless you're planning to convert massive amounts of XP, which nobody does, champion mechs are just pointless, and in my opinion should be faded out of the game. Maybe give people some MC credits towards purchase of hero mechs for that. But now, so legendary mechs should be above hero mechs. That would mean custom paint job, maybe a custom warhorn, and of course a custom loadout, most likely, right?
Hero mechs that come with like a 30% C-bill boost, a stock loadout, and a special skin. A legend kind of blends all of those ideas together, and it is a new variant, has a special skin, pre-configured loadout, and some other items. But
I'm gonna say what everybody's thinking right now.
Again, we're open to your guys' feedback. This is currently the name that we have that we feel is best. It makes sense within the context of like going from a standard champion and hero and then legendary mech. We discussed names like mythic as well, but we feel like this one actually best fits the lore and the titling of.
I get what they're trying to do here. Like they wanted to go for something that is above a hero mech. Well, what's about a hero above a hero? Something that is a myth, something that is a legend. Okay, but Mechwarrior Online Legends as a term, I think it just clashes too much with Living Legends. It just clashes too much with that. I really hope they choose a different name there. The superhero, the Giga Hero, the Giga. Mechwarrior Online, Chads. There we go.
Right now.
That's right. But for obvious reasons, we totally are open to feedback. Let's hear what you think about it. Again, just want to hit on that's not final artwork. If we decide to move forward, if we decide to move forward, obviously we'll put more work into that. But I think the reasoning behind picking the name makes sense. The question is it the best one, and is it the correct one to move forward with? So.
Nope, it is not. I think this is not the right name. Not the concept and not the idea behind it, but we see up here. No, not arguing with that. I'm just saying Legends is the wrong name.
Let's hear what you guys think about that. And I mean, I'm excited for
that page. I know your feedback on this one.
For the package, I'm excited for what we're doing with it, and I also.
Can we make a meme that has Darren saying, "I'm excited for the package"? Okay, I'm juvenile. Let's go on.
I think it's the best name in terms of what we're doing.
So what is a legendary mech and mini battle pass? So the legendary mech takes existing chassis but added a new variant with new hard points. Pre-built loadout designed by the Cauldron. And the idea is to have...
So... Well, that has some potential.
Have an outlier quirk. So give this mech something that makes it really special and legendary on the battlefield. We're going for an LGD designation, so it's not bracket L, not bracket P, or bracket S. It's going to have a custom paint job and have a 30% C-bill boost. I want to see if we can add some additional boost to it. What else is included in the pack? There'll be a
50% skill boost.
mech, obviously the mech bay, a title, a badge, a decal, cockpit items. And then it's going to come with a battle pass. The battle pass is going to be based on your legendary mech's XP progression. So as you use this mech, you're going to unlock content. It's going to be engines, consumables, GSP, C-bills, MC, chassis patterns, bolt-ons, cockpit items, and possible other unlocks like new decals and new custom colors.
Okay, so it's basically MWO trying out the battle pass system of other games. For example, Overwatch 2 is doing that right now. Yeah, could be interesting. As long as so you're basically buying the mech, but you're also, through playing the mech, you're gonna unlock some goodies with that. If those goodies are fun enough and interesting enough and cool enough, this could definitely work. But yeah, I mean, this means every month they could release a new mech. They already have the mech model. The only thing they would have to change are the hard points, right? So once again, that's like a low-hanging fruit that they can go towards, where they shouldn't need too much dev time and get something new and cool out there. No issues with that. The question is going to be, what is a legendary mech gonna cost you? Is it gonna be $10? 15? $20?
So one of the key things about this that I feel is really important is that we're going to launch on Steam at the same time. So when the legendary mech becomes available in the patch in game, it will be available on Steam at the same time. So if you make your purchases on Steam, you'll be able to go there and get regional pricing and then participate in the battle pass that way. So you won't have to go necessarily and buy it for US dollars on the MWO site. That is the strategy for new content. So that would be 10 new variants, around 10 new variants with battle passes and the new mech this year for mech content.
Which basically means the remaining 11 months. Okay.
So just to be clear, when you purchase the mech, then that's purchasing the battle pass. So it's not going to be a separate thing. You purchase the mech, you then have a month's worth of content. Actually, how long is that going to last? Is it going to just be month?
I don't want it to go away personally. It's okay. Like when the mechs go up for sale. I don't like the kind of the idea that battle passes come and go in other games. I mean, that's fine if it's a seasonal battle pass, but right. To me, buying the legendary mech is special. The mini battle pass is a part of that package when you purchase it. And we really want to have a good value price on this where
absolutely
you decide to buy it and you get to enjoy the battle pass at your leisure. It doesn't go away. There's no time crunch. I know we've got
no fear of missing out. Yeah, that is the absolute right choice there. I would have fumed if I heard here that the battle pass would be going away. If you're buying this mech, you're entitled to the items that come with the battle pass if you just play with the mech, and you should not have to do it within a month or whatever, right? No time gate on it. That is the right move.
Plenty of events and stuff in this game where it's like, if you don't start soon enough, like if it's the free mech or if it's the loot bags, people are always asking for extensions because they've got real life things to do. Sure. Personally, my opinion is the legendary mech and the mini battle pass, it's all one thing. You buy it, you enjoy your battle pass at your own pace. So that's
cool. So no fear of missing out on these. I think it's going to be a really fun and exciting new addition to Mechwarrior Online. So let us know what you think.
Yeah,
I'm super excited about it.
I forgot what slide is next.
Well, let's just jump in and see the Men in Black.
The Cauldron. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah,
This
so
is
obviously,
important.
oh yeah, it is important.
Very
I don't think we would be able to pull off without the Cauldron. So a huge thank you, Cauldron. We shared our strategy around the rebrand and the legendary mech system, and they've jumped in and given us ideas. I think initially I said there was going to be a stock loadout, and they're like, no, let's do a tuned loadout, right?
Yeah.
So they're excited to dig in. They've sent us about 10 different ideas for new legendary mechs, and in fact, you guys should send your ideas to us about what new legendary mechs you'd want to see. I think Darren, you could probably start a forum thread, but let's design some legendary mechs.
Yep.
And so we're going to continue to work with the Cauldron. They're a huge asset to the team. Great contributors. They're going to continue to do mech stat and quirk changes, skill tree changes. We've got a whole bunch of those coming in the January patch. Weapon balance changes, equipment changes, new champions and trials over the course of the year. And then another really cool thing, which is a decal and badge update I want to share with you guys. It's a small thing, but it's, I think, a good thing. They have upresed or taken the existing badges, in-game badges, and sent a version where they're actually upresed and done the tests on it and shown that, yeah, it actually looks much better in game with the upres decals, or sorry, badges. So we're going to be implementing those in the game, I believe probably around the time of March. As well, one of the things I want to do is the decals. I want to take every badge from every previous package and then convert it into a decal and retroactively give it to people who own that package.
So a huge amount of appreciation and thank you to all of the members of the Cauldron.
And there's another thing that we want to do.
Go back.
And thank you to all of the members of the Cauldron.
All right, so first about the Cauldron, of course. I mean, these guys have been instrumental in helping to reinvigorate the game, helping PGI to come up with weapon changes, with balance changes, with quirk changes, and regardless of whether you agree or not agree with the changes that were made, or with certain changes that were made and certain changes that were not made, with certain aspects of the game right now, overall, it has been very beneficial to the game to get these changes in, to just change the gameplay up a little bit. So that was really cool, and especially in the beginning, it was amazing. Right now, we're at this point where it feels like most maps are just, as we said, blue laser and long range combat all the time, and that is something that needs to be addressed, I feel, this year. And that's not the Cauldron's fault, or that's not the player's fault. It's just people play what is effective, and that is where I think earlier we were talking about the maps. This is where the whole thing comes in. The maps need to be less friendly to extreme sniping all the time. And if you can have that, that would be nice. Make brawling great again. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens this year. And it will also be interesting to see what kind of mechs they come up with.
And there's another thing that we want to do. We want to add new weapons to the game. The Cauldron has requested to add new weapons. I will say this does need some investigation. As designed, they may not have new 3D models, so they may have fallback models. So if it's a ballistic, it may fall back to like a Ultra AC5 type of model. New weapons
They've had
coming
some
this
good
year.
ideas.
Yeah,
They've already offered some pretty decent ideas, so I think this is pretty realistic. Obviously, like you said, it needs some investigation still, but the idea of adding some new weapons moving forward a little bit in the timeline and technology would be awesome. Faction play. So,
all right. So new weapons, absolutely open to it. Would open up the potential for new builds again. Would be interesting. Will be a lot of fun. As I said, it really depends what kind of weapons they add, and it really depends on what is being done on the map front to complement that.
we brought this up. It's been brought up a few times. Towards the end of next week, I'm thinking I'm going to start a thread. Let's talk about faction play. There's a few of them.
Didn't we already have 10,000 threads that say, let's talk about faction play?
That will be coming out. Let's talk about faction play. Let's talk about event queue, and let's talk about legendary mech. So there'll be some threads starting for some conversation with you guys. But basically, in terms,
somebody in chat said Arrow 4. Somebody else said Long Tom. yeah, Long Tom was in the game and it was removed, thankfully, because it was a steaming pile of horse manure.
So faction play, we will be having a conversation with you with the Cauldron and looking at possible fixes and solutions. Obviously, starting with some low-hanging fruit. What can we do to improve the gameplay experience in faction play? Look for some bigger solutions, and if it's something that we're able to do. So I know that there's a lot of you out there that are still playing it, still enjoy it, still love it. So let's talk about it. What can we do?
This is
All right, so if you guys are interested in faction play, head on over to the corresponding threads and voice your opinions.
some stuff that I've been working on with the web design team. You guys asked for it. We heard you, and we're going to implement this. So the Platinum Custom Collection. Players have expressed that they want to create their own custom Platinum Collection. So what we're going to do in January is we're going to be adding 10 new IS Platinum mechs in January, and then we're going to make it so you can choose a custom collection in both Inner Sphere or Clans, and then purchase it for $20. There'll be 10 more IS Platinum mechs added in February as well.
No, I was going to say, I've had a lot of you message me saying, I like this mech in this pack, and I like this mech in this pack. Can you please make it so we can choose our variants? And then I will be purchasing Platinum mechs. So I'm very happy that we're able to provide that to you for those of you that asked.
Makes sense, right? People want shiny paint jobs, and people want to have the shiny paint jobs on the mechs they enjoy, because sometimes in these packs, let's be real, some mechs in these packs are amazing, or some paint jobs are for amazing mechs, and some of the shiny and chrome paint jobs are for mediocre mechs. And of course, you want to play the amazing mechs. People only play those mediocre mechs because they really enjoy the mech. Maybe that was one of the first mechs they ever encountered in Battletech or whatnot. They have an emotional connection to them. But other than that, people want to play what's good.
The idea is that if you look at the history of all the pre-order packages and all the packages that we put into the store, obviously we had Founders and Phoenix that went away, and then we had Clans as probably the largest collection that ever existed. The Urban Mech was the first mech pre-order where we did an individual mech. So the idea is that we're going to start retiring older, larger bundles like the Clans pack, and then replacing it with individual packs of those mechs. You take the Direwolf and you break it out into its own package. There's a lot of packs there. And as well, we've got a lot of mechs that we put out that were never in a package, like the, Mando, Dragon, Awesome, all those mechs. So we want to give them their own individual pack. This is something that's going to happen over the course of the whole year. So it's not something where like everything's going to go away and everything's going to be added right away. It's a lot of incremental work, and the team's going to be probably taking, if not the whole year, but longer to do it. But what we will do is we will let you know when those packs are going to go away. So if it's the Clans one is the first one that's going to disappear, we'll have a retirement party for it, and we'll do mech pack sales and that kind of thing. So it's time to kind of modernize the store a little bit. So we haven't fully designed that. The first thing will be changing the Platinum mechs out into like a custom collection, and then after that, we're going to tackle this along with the rebrand. So, and
all right, well, that makes sense to me. I mean, not sure how many of you people still need mechs from the mech packs. I would always just advise, I mean, if you're new to the game, or if you just tried out a certain mech and you love it and you have the money and you want to buy a mech pack, sure, by all means, go ahead. I would just say play the game, get the C-bills, buy the mechs that way, and then either, if you don't have much money, play events, get MC, buy your hero mechs, or just buy your hero mechs straight out when they're on sale.
And
you take this slide, Darren.
First of all, more consistent event queue events. We were doing a lot of experimentation and discovery process basically with event queue in 2022. What's working, what wasn't working, were there things that we could fix? Got some great suggestions for event queues from players and streamers.
I would actually be excited about monthly Solaris. If I think back when we were doing like the brawling XL Dragon in Solaris, and that is Solaris event, that was fun. So I might actually join these events. a little bit more frequently moving forward.
So like I mentioned earlier, we will be doing a thread. Let's talk about event queue. I want to hear the things that you guys like, more specifically the things that you don't like, and open it up to some suggestions, because some of our best events actually were suggestions by players. The point is we're going to be more consistent in event queue this year, so that number one, you have more heads up that it's coming. You can prepare, for example, drop decks for event queue. Obviously builds for event queue are different than builds for, or can be different than builds for faction play and for quick play. There will be, of course, we're continuing the monthly free mechs. Everybody's been enjoying that. You can add more mechs to your collection free every single month. Loot bag events. Everybody loves the loot bag events, so we're going to continue those. Of course, we have the Lucky Charms Beach Party Trick or Treat and the Stocking Stuffers that we just ended.
I do want to say I am going to refresh the prizes in there. I kept it pretty consistent last year, but I think it's time for a refresh.
But yeah, the loot bag events, always popular, not going away.
Double XP events, boosted hero events. The idea being
continue those.
Yeah, we're going to continue those. Probably keeping them quarterly. And then annual rewards program will be back this year.
There's a lot of shiny mechs out there right now because of our annual rewards program. A lot of people get a lot of exciting content every year, so we're going to continue that.
I do want to make sure that we get some new variants in this year. The annual rewards program has traditionally been about adding new variants to the game.
Man, they're always way more on top of it than I am. But these guys have already lined up the year 2023 with all of the comp events. Basically, we had record-breaking participation this year. It was very exciting. I always enjoy these tournaments, and we will be doing it again in 2023. They've already said they want to do it. Obviously, we want to do it, and there will be another supporter pack. The supporter pack had 2 tiers this year. Record-breaking support for the tournament, so they had a nice prize package. Just a lot of fun. It's always fun to see how many of you are out there that love the comp scene as well. And
and that is the reason why I for one also try to keep you guys updated on these events when they're going on, especially the esports stuff, because it's a cool thing and it keeps the game alive and it keeps the community alive. So tournament support, always nice, and the package was also pretty cool.
Thank you to MWO Comp for all the work that they do. Similar to the Cauldron, there's just so much work behind the scenes to do these types of things that these groups bring to the player base, and it's very significant. And part of what I love about this community is the passion that's out there and how much work people will put into these types of things, above and beyond their already hugely busy schedule. So everybody involved in MWO Comp, thank you very much. All the hard work you guys are doing is very appreciated.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you guys the patch dates. January 24th is the next patch coming up. We've got a patch plan for every month, and you can kind of see here a peek behind the curtain. We've got the patch notes date up there. We've got our 0 bugs date, and we've got our work due date. So when it comes to the patch that comes out on the 24th, the work that needs to go into that is actually due on January 6th, and we have to hit 0 bugs by the 13th. This is how many patches we put out in a year. These are the dates we work to. You guys can, take at least the patch days to the bank and know that we've got another full year of patches coming out. And so,
some of you have heard us throwing around the word pipeline and development pipeline and so forth. This kind of gives you a little bit more insight into what we're talking about there. We're always working significantly ahead of where we're at and what you see.
And Darren, let's get into our final thoughts.
Final thoughts by Matt and Darren. Yeah, so Mechwarrior 5. Obviously, here we are doing the devlog for MWO, as we said we would do this week. Yes, it's Friday. I understand that, but it's still this week. We're getting it out. And today also, fingers crossed.
Speaking about devlogs, by the way, it would be nice if those came a little bit more frequently again. It was pretty cool when they started out at the beginning of the whole revitalization project of Mechwarrior Online, where we got to listen to their thoughts and all the new stuff coming basically every month, right? And then it just fizzled out at some point. So I would like to see this to continue on a regular basis, monthly. That would be nice.
I will be getting out a blog post regarding DLC 4 for MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, Rise of Rosselhog.
I already did a video on that one. Make sure to watch that. Rise of Rosselhog has some really cool things coming towards us. And in my opinion, from what we've read, it should be a lot better than the last DLC. So it might even be as interesting as the second add-on that we got with the Kestrel Lancers, which was very cool to play.
Which ships January 26th. It's going to be a blog post kind of breaking down the details.
It's just 11 days from now, by the way. Holy hell.
Of the free update that comes with the new DLC. So it's just getting into more detail.
By the way, talking about the DLC Rise of Rosselhog, what I'm still missing for that from that area is like more hype, more content. Like, yes, there is this teaser page and the features and a little bit of like short video stuff on it, but I would like to see like a description of all the new mechs that we're getting. I would like to get like an insight into how one of those missions, how they work, or I would like to see one of those missions in action, something like that. I just feel that PGI is dropping the ball here as far as presentation and marketing is concerned. I mean, if you've dropped if you're a hen and you've dropped a nice egg, what do? You go quack 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 quack, right? Or pop 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 pop, whatever hen sounds like, doesn't matter. And that's something I'm missing here. And then also, of course, involving the content creators at the get-go and get the word out even further. That is something that PGI needs to do, in my opinion, and has a little bit slacked off on that regard.
Explaining a little bit more about what's coming in that free update. So that should be out today or Monday at the latest. I'm going to say today, though. Also, one of the big bombs that Russ did drop on the No Guts, No Galaxy podcast is that we have a new Mechwarrior project in the works. Now, this is PvE/co-op, more in line with what has been done with MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. Not getting into any more detail than that. This is a very exciting project. He also did touch a little bit on...
So basically what it means is we're going to get MechWarrior 6 mercs. Nothing against it. I mean, hey, if we can get a new MechWarrior mercs title with a different setting, with new and improved features every couple of years, hey, I'm game. Let's do it.
The potential for the next MechWarrior PvP game. So there's definitely no details about that, but we do want to talk to you about it. What would you like to see in an iteration, the next MechWarrior PvP game? And I've heard a lot of discussion out there in the community, wish lists and desires, wants, needs of a new MechWarrior PvP game. So let's talk about it.
I think what's interesting is, like, you and I have had these discussions so many times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many times, but we haven't been able to have them in the community. I feel like Russ kind of cracked the door open for us to start talking to them about it and asking them,
yeah,
what is it they want to see? Like, what to me, what would be the perfect end result to this is that we start putting that energy out there, start collecting ideas, start building, on those ideas, finding a way to make that project happen. As much as Mechwarrior Online evolved over the years, it didn't get to evolve its business model like that. And I think that that's partially where I'm trying to push things with the Legends rebrand and these these little mini battle passes that would come with those mechs. And I think that, with the community, if we reach out there and figure out what is the next MechWarrior PvP game look like, and how would that business model work, and how would the game modes work, and what do they want to see, like, I think that we can kind of like build it together.
Smart move. On the one side, basically asking people, hey, what would you like to see? What would you like us to build? Smart move. On the other side, that is TTB, the person that looks towards the positive things. Negative TTB says, hey, please tell us how to make money. The truth is in between somewhere, right? But yeah, if we can get a new MechWarrior on a PvP game, that would be amazing. Include maybe something like tanks and infantry, elementals. Include cool settings, like for example, fighting in space on dropships or on space stations, or on moons. Gravity. Yeah, maybe like a dynamic war where you actually have two factions battling it out and like really fighting for control of planets and whatnot. Could be cool. Could be cool. One thing is for sure though, it needs to have a different engine. Would probably be done in Unreal Engine because that's the engine that they have most experience with these days, right? But yeah, so I would like to see that. Somebody in chat said next Mechwarrior PvE project could be, of course, the clan invasion, which I've always been saying that is the thing they need to make happen because people love the clans. I mean, I don't know what's so cool about those tank-bred genetic freaks, but hey, to each their own, right? Yes, I shall be Steiner forever. No, I'm kidding though. Clan invasion would be really cool, and it's also thick with story and atmosphere, right? And it would open up the way to new weapon systems, new mechs. It could be so cool. Could be so cool if they manage to tell a compelling story and also add a lot of these like cool elements to the game, right? They might go Clan as well, maybe. I mean, we don't know which area of the BattleTech time frame they're going to go to, but I think probably the safest bet is probably Clan Invasion. And then you could fight for two different sides. You could fight for the inner sphere, or you could fight for the clan side. Maybe there could be a final mission where the clans actually win Tukayit because of you. With a little asterisk. This is not what happened. But feel free to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And hearing what you guys out there have in your minds in terms of what would be fun and the next great thing is going to be exciting. You mentioned 12 years. We're actually coming up on the 10-year anniversary, I think, of it being live, Mechwarrior Online. We're coming up on the 40-year anniversary of the BattleTech Mechwarrior franchise in general, which means I've been playing this game for 40 years, Matt. And so the idea of being able to continue this with the next
And we've all got the beards to show it.
Mechwarrior PvE project, with the potential for the next Mechwarrior PvP project, and continuing to work with you, continuing to work with you guys, the community, and be a part of this community is just an extension of my dream come true life. So I'm very excited about what we have coming this year. I'm very excited about what we have coming beyond this year. And, just super grateful for being a part of this. So I want to say thank you, Matt. I'm glad we sat down and did this. It was a wonderful year working with you last year. I look forward to working with you this year. Thank you, the community, the Cauldron, MWO Comp. Love you guys, and can't wait to start doing all this.
Yeah, me too. Let's sign off.
Sign off. See you guys out on the battlefield.
All right.
Well, that was a nice little devlog. I feel they should have also included all the content creators over on YouTube and on Twitch, constantly making content for the game, constantly engaging with the community as well. I think that also deserves a thank you. So thank you to all my fellow content creators. I know this is a little bit self-serving, but it's not about me. It's about the content that everybody creates in this whole community and keeps people engaged, keeps people trying out new things, keeps people being happy about the game, having fun in the game, and that is really, really, really important. So to all the tireless, crazy people on YouTube and on Twitch, keep what you're doing. The game needs it more than you might think. Keep it going. All right, guys, so lots of cool things in here. Definitely surprised at the amount of new stuff that's happening for 2023. We're still in a somewhat maintenance / improvement / low-hanging fruits mode, but there's a couple of good things in here. Map improvements, new maps, rebalancing, new mechs or new mech variants, potential rebrand. Of course, that's something that we as players don't care as much about. This is just more like on the top level stuff for the company. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and let me know what you think about these specific items in particular, and I will read through that. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this content, if you found this video helpful, if you want to support me, check out the join button right here on YouTube. You can check out the Super Thanks button in the comment section or the merch store / Patreon, all listed in the video description. Thank you so much, guys.